You know someone who earns more than you? Probably a lot more. Who is somehow always broke. They drive a nicer car, live in a better apartment, eat at better restaurants, and at the end of every month they have nothing to show for it. And you also know someone, maybe you've met them, maybe you've just heard about them, who earns a modest income but is quietly, steadily building something. No flash, no status symbols. But when you actually look at their financial situation, they're ahead. Way ahead. And it's confusing because everything you've been told about money says that the person who earns the most wins. But the evidence says otherwise. And the reason is something that sounds almost too simple to be true. There are 5 habits, not 50, not 20, 5, that predict wealth accumulation more accurately than income, more accurately than education, more accurately than starting point. And the data on this is overwhelming. People who practice these 5 habits consistently build wealth at every income level. People who don't stall, regardless of how much they earn. Your salary determines your ceiling. These 5 habits determine whether you ever get close to it. My name is Max, and I want to help you learn how to make your money work more for you in your life. This channel is about understanding the real drivers of financial outcomes. Not the ones that look impressive on paper, but the ones that actually move the needle. If you've ever felt like you should be further ahead given what you earn, subscribe, because this is exactly the kind of thing we explore. Here's the belief I want to dismantle. If I just earned more, I'd be fine. It's the most common financial belief in America, and it's almost entirely wrong. Not because income doesn't matter, of course it matters, but because income is a necessary condition for building wealth, not a sufficient one. It's like saying, if I just had better ingredients, I'd be a great cook. The ingredients help, but without the skills to use them, the ingredients rot in the fridge. And that's exactly what happens to most high earners' money. It comes in, and because the habits aren't there, it goes right back out. The National Bureau of Economic Research has found that roughly 25% of households earning over $150,000 per year live paycheck to paycheck. A quarter of people earning 3 times the median income have no meaningful savings. Income without habits is a faucet without a bucket. It flows, it splashes, and nothing accumulates. The 5 habits I'm about to describe are the bucket. And once the bucket is in place, even a modest faucet fills it. Let me frame the whole concept with an analogy. Think about 2 gardens. Garden A has rich, expensive soil, premium seeds, and an advanced irrigation system. But the gardener never shows up. The weeds grow, the water runs on random schedules, and the garden slowly turns into a mess. Garden B has ordinary soil, basic seeds, and a simple hose. But the gardener shows up every single day. Weeds are pulled. Water is applied at the right time. Sunlight is managed. And over time, Garden B produces a harvest that Garden A never will, despite having fewer advantages. Your income is the soil. The 5 habits are the gardener, and the gardener always beats the soil. Always. But here's where it gets really interesting. Habit 1. Automate your investing before you can touch the money. This is the foundational habit, the one that makes all the others possible. On the day you get paid, a fixed percentage of your income moves automatically from your checking account to your investment account. You don't see it. You don't approve it. It happens. The psychology here is simple but powerful. Behavioral economists call it choice architecture, designing your environment so that the best decision is the default decision. When investing is automated, you have to actively decide to stop it. And inertia, the tendency to stick with the default, works massively in your favor. Studies on 401k auto-enrollment show that participation rates jump from about 40% to over 90% simply by making enrollment the default. Same people, same incomes, dramatically different outcomes, all because of the default setting. The math makes this concrete. Let's compare 2 people. Person A earns $120,000 but doesn't automate. They invest when they can. which averages about $300 per month because life keeps getting in the way. A big expense here, a vacation there, and I'll invest extra next month becomes a permanent pattern. Person B earns $55,000 but automates 15% of their take-home pay, which is about $580 per month. The money moves before person B even sees it. After 10 years at 8% returns, person A has about $55,200. Person B has about $106,700. The person earning less than half the salary built nearly double the wealth. Not through sacrifice, through automation. The $120,000 earner didn't lose to the $55,000 earner because they spent recklessly. They lost because their good intentions didn't have a system behind them. And good intentions without systems produce good feelings, not good outcomes. Habit 2. Know your spending number. This isn't budgeting. It's simpler. Once a week, it takes 60 seconds. You look at your checking account balance and subtract your remaining fixed bills for the month. The result is your spending number. That's what's available for discretionary spending until next payday. The psychology here is the salience effect. Research consistently shows that people who are aware of their available balance spend 10 to 15% less than people who aren't, without feeling restricted. The number doesn't limit you. It informs you. And informed people make better decisions. Most people never know their spending number. They have a vague sense that there's enough in the account, and they spend based on feeling rather than data. And feelings are terrible financial advisors. Feelings say, I deserve this. Data says, I have $340 until Friday. The second one leads to better outcomes every single time. Now you might be thinking, that sounds like a budget with extra steps. It's the opposite. A budget tells you what you can't spend on. The spending number tells you what you can. It's a permission number, not a restriction number. And the emotional difference between permission and restriction determines whether you maintain the habit for decades or abandon it in weeks. Habit 3. Apply the 48-hour rule to any purchase over $50. Before you buy anything non-essential that costs more than $50, you wait 48 hours. If you still want it after 48 hours, you buy it. If the impulse has passed, and it will pass more often than you'd expect, you redirect the money. This habit exploits a neurological truth about desire. Impulse purchases are driven by a dopamine spike that your brain generates in response to novelty and anticipated pleasure. That spike peaks at the moment of desire and decays rapidly, usually within a few hours. By waiting 48 hours, you allow the spike to fade and make the purchase decision with your rational brain instead of your emotional one. Research on cooling off periods in consumer behavior found that implementing even a 24-hour delay reduced non-essential spending by up to 30%. Not because people became more disciplined, because the desire itself had dissipated by the time the delay was over. You're not fighting the impulse. You're outlasting it. And the financial impact is significant. If the 48-hour rule redirects just $200 a month from impulse purchases to investments, that's $36,700 in 10 years at 8% and roughly $118,600 in 20 years from doing literally nothing, just waiting. And this is the part most people miss. Habit 4. Increase your investment rate by 1% every time your income increases. This is the stealth habit, the one that silently prevents lifestyle inflation from ever taking hold. Every time you get a raise, a promotion, a new job with higher pay, or any increase in income, you increase your automated investment percentage by 1%. Not the full raise, 1%. The rest, you can enjoy guilt-free. Here's why this works so well. A 1% increase is psychologically invisible. On a $55,000 salary, 1% is about $46 per month. You'll never notice it. But over a decade of raises and incremental increases, your investment rate quietly climbs from 15% to 20% to 25%. And the compounding effect of steadily increasing contributions is extraordinary. Let's run the numbers. Person B from earlier starts at $580 per month, 15% of take home. If their income grows 3% per year and they increase their investment rate by 1% with each raise, by year 10, their monthly contribution is roughly $870. Their total portfolio after 10 years, approximately $130,000, compared to $106,700 without the incremental increases. That extra $23,300 came from increases they never felt, invisible savings with very visible results. And here's why this habit matters more than chasing a higher salary. A $10,000 raise without this habit gets absorbed by lifestyle inflation within months. A $3,000 raise with this habit permanently increases your investment rate. The habit captures income. Without it, income evaporates. Habit 5. Conduct a quarterly financial review. Once every 3 months, 4 times a year, you spend 30 minutes looking at 4 things: your net worth, your investment returns, your spending patterns, and your progress toward your next milestone. That's it. 30 minutes, 4 times a year, 2 hours total per year. The psychology is what researchers call the monitoring effect. The finding that simply measuring something improves it. People who weigh themselves regularly maintain healthier weights. Students who track their study hours study more. And people who review their finances quarterly build more wealth. Not because the review itself does anything, but because the awareness it creates subtly influences every financial decision you make until the next review. The quarterly review also serves as an early warning system. Lifestyle inflation, forgotten subscriptions, creeping expenses, these things are invisible on a weekly basis, but obvious on a quarterly one. The review catches drift before it becomes damage. Now let me put all 5 habits together and show you what happens when they work in concert. Person B earns $55,000. They automate 15% of take-home to investments. They check their spending number weekly. They apply the 48-hour rule and redirect $200 per month in saved impulse purchases. They increase their investment rate by 1% with each raise. And they conduct a quarterly review to catch any drift. Total monthly investment in year 1. $580 base plus $200 redirected equals $780 per month. By year 5, with income growth and incremental increases, roughly $950 per month. By year 10, approximately $1,150 per month. Total portfolio after 10 years, roughly $158,000. After 20 years, approximately $580,000. After 30 years, over $1.4 million. On a starting salary of $55,000 with 5 habits that take a total of about 3 hours per month to maintain, and with no moment that felt like sacrifice. Because automation, awareness, and incremental increases don't feel like sacrifice. They feel like normal life. They feel like clarity, like being an adult who has their stuff together. The experience of running these habits isn't deprivation, it's competence. Now compare that to person A earning $120,000 with no habits, investing sporadically, averaging $300 per month. After 30 years at 8%, they'd have about $447,000. The person who earned less than half as much built 3 times the wealth. That's the power of habits over salary. And it's not theoretical. The data supports it at every income level. You're probably wondering how these habits change daily life beyond the portfolio numbers. Here's what it looks like. Your dishwasher breaks. It's a $600 replacement. Because you know your spending number, you can see immediately whether this fits within the current pay period or needs to come from your emergency fund. No scrambling, no credit card, no anxiety. You make the decision in 5 minutes and it's handled. A new position opens at a competitor. 20% more pay, but higher cost of living. Because you've been running the quarterly review, you know exactly what your finances look like and can model whether the move makes sense. You negotiate from data, not guesswork. And because your investments are automated, the transition doesn't disrupt your wealth building for even 1 month. A friend invites you to invest in a small business. Because the 48-hour rule has redirected thousands in impulse spending over the years, and because the incremental increases have boosted your investment rate, you have capital available. You can evaluate the opportunity and participate if it makes sense, or decline without regret. Either way, you're at the table. And the career effects of running all 5 habits simultaneously are what really set you apart. People with financial habits negotiate differently. They don't just ask for more money. They know exactly how much more they need and what it translates to in investment growth. When you know that a $5,000 raise invested for 20 years at 8% is worth approximately $24,700, you fight for it. And you fight with specificity, which reads as competence to the person across the table. People with financial habits also make braver career moves. They leave toxic jobs sooner. They pursue entrepreneurial ideas with more confidence. They invest in education and certifications because they can model the ROI. And they do all of this from a foundation of financial security that makes the risk manageable, which means they take more smart risks and fewer desperate ones. The flywheel effect. Habits create savings. Savings create security. Security creates confidence. Confidence creates better career outcomes. Better outcomes create more income, and more income feeds back into the habits. The whole system accelerates. And here's the irony. Once the flywheel is spinning, the person with habits often ends up earning more too, because financial security makes you a better employee, a better negotiator, and a bolder career navigator. The habits don't just beat salary. Over time, they increase salary. And I've seen this pattern repeatedly. Someone earning $55,000 starts the 5 habits. Within 3 years, the confidence and clarity those habits provide has translated into a promotion or a job change. Now they're earning $68,000 in rebate and investing 18% instead of 15%. The habits didn't just capture more of their income, they accelerated the income itself. Meanwhile, person A at $120,000 without habits is still investing sporadically and wondering why they don't feel wealthier. Now, I need to warn you about the way people sabotage these habits. They try to do all 5 at once perfectly starting tomorrow, and within 2 weeks, the whole system collapses because it was too much change at once. Habits research is clear. Behavior change is most successful when introduced incrementally. Start with habit 1. Automate your investing. Just that. Run it for a month until it feels normal. Then add the spending number, then the 48-hour rule, then the incremental increases, then the quarterly review. 5 habits introduced over 5 months. By month 6, the entire system is running and it feels effortless because each habit had time to become automatic before the next one was layered on. Think of it like learning a musical instrument. You don't learn 5 techniques simultaneously. You master one, then add the next. By the time you've stacked all 5, you're playing music, not just making noise. The other common sabotage is perfectionism. You miss a week of checking your spending number and think, I've already fallen off. You didn't. The system is resilient. Missing one check doesn't undo 3 months of automation. The goal isn't perfect execution, it's consistent direction, and consistently imperfect beats sporadically perfect every single time. So here's the truth I want you to hold on to. Your salary is the starting line, not the finish line. It determines the raw material available to you. But what you build with that material, the wealth, the security, the freedom, the options, is determined entirely by your habits. 5 of them, practiced consistently over decades. And the beautiful thing about habits is that they're available to everyone. You can't choose your starting salary. You can't choose the economy you graduate into. You can't choose your family's financial literacy. But you can choose to automate, to know your number, to wait 48 hours, to increase by 1%, to review quarterly. Those 5 choices, made repeatedly, will outperform every advantage that a higher salary provides, because salary without habits is a river without a bucket. And habits without a massive salary, that's a bucket that fills anyway. Build the habits, fill the bucket, and let the person earning twice as much wonder how you passed them.